whatsoever. They'll do better against the Russians.
Set left side to Menchova. It is a common theory in volleyball. It is much easier to play defense on the outside against a left side hitter than it is facing quick sets and back sets. You don't have the reaction time.
Well, as long as that set has some altitude to it, you can get 2 or 3 blockers up and get your defenders with respect to the back row in good position. The Koreans specialize in defense. That will help them if a lot of balls go high left side or high back row from the Russians.
So far, Korea passing very well. Sun Hee Chung got the last kill. Russians on the attack. The back step out and the put away. So number 9, Elizaveta Titichenko. She is from Kiev, 6'1 1/4", 171 pounds. All the Russians are big. As that ball pumped out of bounds.
And no doubt about it that the Russian coaching staff saw the semifinal match between the Cubans and the Koreans and saw the success that the Cubans had setting quick. I think you'll see many more sets going to the middle from the Russians in this match than at any other time during the tournament. There it is again, just high 2-set in the middle, copying the Cubans.
And it was dug up. They go left side, and the little dinker, Yoon Hee Chang. She's a cagey little veteran, isn't she?
Well, look at her. Moves the ball around, hits sharp angles, has very good body control and shot control as well. Off to a very good start.
Sun Hee Chung with the serve. Gracheva high in the middle, but Tuktina emotionally. Where are the Russians right now in this match?
Well, they're disappointed to be playing for the bronze. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I think they feel that this is a team that's still rebuilding, and without their great outside hitter Artemanova, to win the bronze in this tournament is a pretty good finish. Artemanova, maybe their best player overall, and within their system even more important since she hits high left side. So it's a good finish for the Russians.
Artemanova, in case you're wondering, out most of the year with a knee injury. She'll be back next year. Gracheva sets left. And Batuktina hits it low into the net. And Korea will have it.
Just into the top of the tape, never cleared, and you have to wonder about fatigue.
For which team?
Well, the Russian outside hitters. I mean, how many balls have they hit during the course of this tournament?
Park stuffs one.
Batuktina getting blocked on the outside. Korea off early, blocking a few balls, up by 1.
Has this ever happened to you?
And the Russians been shanking the ball a bit. Out of bounds, another point to Korea. And Korea has played very, very well, especially defensively.
Well, you set the ball high left side, you play right into the hands of the Korean scheme, which means we're going to serve tough, get you in some trouble if we can, and then dig and dig and dig. And if they can get some success in transition on the left side, which they've gotten already early, they'll be very competitive in this match.
Yoon Kyung-oh comes in. 5'8", 152 from Chunbuk. Korea on the attack. Little left side, and the put away. Sun Hee Chung doing a good job on the left as head coach Chol Yong Kim. What an upset. What a feather in the cap of Korea this would be if they could upset the Russians. And they're looking very good so far. As the big blast on the right, Tatiana Menchova ranking one.
And this is heat off the right side. Look at the middle blocker for Korea reaching towards the hitter when she should be penetrating the net and reaching into the cross court.
Korea, one of the shortest teams in the tournament. The Russians, one of the biggest. Batuktina with the drive.
The Russian hitters certainly will be smart enough to attack the Korean block. Even though they've been stuffed a couple of times early, the way to go after Korea or Japan or China, for that matter, is to continue to go right at them.
Russians not the most mobile team in terms of diving around the floor. Nikulia could not get there.
Well, it all starts with a good combination play off the perfect pass from Korea. The block is disjointed. The defense doesn't know where to go, but not chasing well are the Russians early.
Serving number 17, Hee Mi Kang. The serving specialist, Mr. D'Souza from Brazil, our first referee. And into the middle. The Russians set the quick. Morozova gets the kill. And the Korean coach is working energetically on the sidelines. Game one, very competitive. Korea, play set. They'll give it to Gracheva, left side, and the put away. So the Russians sticking to their game plan, going high left side. As you look at Valentina Ogienko, who's in there now, 11-9, Korea by 2. Ogienko comes in about midway through game one normally, as Batutina hits it off the block out of bounds.
Russians doing a much better job of defending against the Korean play set. You got to keep your hands high, front your hitter, work everything back into the court. The Russians now starting to get some touches and scoring off of it.
Left side, little shoulder blade, and it's out of bounds. Good play by Korea. Substitution. Here come reserves back in. Do-hee Lee, actually a starter. Nam Soon Kim, a starter. And the reserves go out. And Mr. Kraja says, let's go. So a Brazilian is up, a German is down, Korea on the left, and Russia on the right. Hopefully there won't be any arguments about protocol. On the left side, Tatiana Menshova. She's a good-looking left side hitter, and she's very, very young.
Compact approach. This Russian team, other than Ogienko, is fairly young. Like the Cubans, they're going to be a major factor, and we've talked about it before. They get Arteminova back.
Right.
And Russia and Cuba are going to be clearly the top two teams in the world, with the United States and still China a huge question mark. And, of course, Brazil has established themselves as a top 4 team in any tournament.
Timeout is called. Game one. We're tied at 11. Nikolai Karpol. 2 Olympic gold medals, 1980 and 1988.
Saw Valentina Ogienko in the huddle just sucking on her water bottle. She's been through that routine with Nikolai Karpol 1,000 times.
She just everything.
Just stares straight ahead.
Korea on the attack, left side. Russians can take the lead, high left. Korea with a block. And out of the back line, Korea pops it up. And Russia just too big and too strong. Nikulina was there for the block.
Yeah, Russia's got to speed up its back row attack, setting the ball way too high, way too deep. And I think that's an area they really need to work on between now and the Atlanta Olympics. That will make them a lot more deceptive of a team offensively.
Benchova back in. Chinguina goes out. Russia will serve. Great pass. Play action and the put away. Number 11's got a lot of athletic ability. She's a youngster, Ji Young Hong.
Slide set going behind. If the blocker doesn't front, you hit it straight down the line. As she drifts out, cut it back cross court. Very effective combination for Korea.
Into the middle, Ogienko gets the kill. From Krasnodar, plays for Nikolai Karpol's club team, Uralichka. In fact, most of these women do. Another game point for the Russian. Game point number 2. I tell you, I like the way Korea runs their slide a lot better than some of the other teams. They set it close enough where you can really ram it.
Well, it's closer to the net. It also passes through an area, so you can pick it off in a number of different places depending on how the blocker reacts to the play set action and your movement.
Gracheva. And the lift is called, so Korea gets a much-needed point.
Ball handling error by the Soviets. It looked actually like the Korean blocker threw it back in. I think it was a throw call on Gracheva, and a good one.
14-14.
Another bad pass.
And the Russians just barely get it over, but the put away, Yoon-hee Chang. And now Korea will have its first game point. Korean fans are up. Chung serving.
Tough serve.
Left side. It's blocked off Morozova. Not yet. Korea needs a swing. They go to number 10. Park, and she puts it away. Oh, yeah. Soo Jeong Park in Korea has upset the Russians in game one.
Latter stages of that game, the Russians were passing poorly. No attack out of the middle. Plays right to the strength of Korea, digging balls. And we said it, if they could get some transition points, they could be competitive in this bronze medal match.
Game 1 goes to Korea. We'll continue in a minute. Championships, a very, very successful tournament this year. Bronze medal match, Korea surprising Russia. Game 1, 16-14. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland. You look at Russia. Slow start in pool play. Got by the Czechs, defeated the United States in a key match, lost to Brazil. Korea 0-3, 3-0, 1-3. Got by the Netherlands, upset China, lost to Cuba 0-3. This is Valentina Ogienko. She'll put the ball in play for the Russians. Russians are in red, Korea in white. Korea played very, very well in game 1. And if they can continue to side out, they have a chance to win this match.
Hong's been very, very good on the step out. She's back to serve now. They've established that play set action on the right side. And then the left side hitters for Korea are also effective, really spreading the Russian block.
Ball spiked over the top and out, and Russia not playing well at the moment. Korea. We mentioned that Korea, the shortest team in the tournament, only 2 players over 6 feet. The Russians have 9 of their 12 over 6 feet. Defense against offense. And so far, Korea is doing it. Chung on the left side, number 8, gets another kill.
Talked about the mental approach of the Russians. You know, they're just not moving hard, playing hard in between points right now. A little unfamiliar territory, playing for the bronze. Nice roll shot over the top. But the Russians have to refocus on this match. Korea's really taken away the momentum and the tempo of this match.
Russia better step it up, or they'll have to go into a timeout with their coach, the Howling Bear.
They play like that. Defensively, the Russians just are not ready. They're being surprised, and you got to be down, because the Koreans are never going to set the ball high left side, except off a dig. And there's the man, Nikolai Karpov, probably biting his tongue, biting his lip.
He is an obsessive nail biter, and he can bite your head off if you're not playing well. The head coach for the Russians. Now Morozova will serve. Using her a little hitting left side. It's kind of unusual. Normally a middle hitter. Russia got a block, and it goes down. So Russia doing what it does best, trying to stuff the ball at the net. Two to 1 Korea. Out of the back line, nobody there. Russia with a chance. And blocked again, the third stuff block for Soo-Jeong Park.
See, Ogienko, look at Ogienko over here all by herself, the middle attacker. But everybody knows where the ball's going to be set by Gracheva, and that's where she goes high left side.
Korea won game 1. Korea leading here in game 2. Out of the back line, terrible set and a terrible hit, and Korea gets another point. Wow. So far, so good for Korea as they lead 3-1. High left, and the ball finally put away.
I'll tell you one thing, Russia won't win the Olympics with this offense. No matter who they have back.
I think it's a matter for Russia in developing its offense. They've got a lot of big young women. They've got a new setter, and it's going to be up to Nikolai Karpov to blend all those factors and to improve the offense in 2 years by the Olympic Games in Atlanta.
Well, 2 things. One, the development of Gracheva, who's the new setter. How good will she become? Nikolina used to set the ball. Now she plays opposite, is basically in there to pass, play defense, and serve tough. And also, of course, you get Artemanova back. But where's another middle hitter? You need somebody young in there so you can bring Ogienko off the bench, as Russia is doing here, but somebody who can really spank the ball out of the middle.
I think their players can hit in the middle. They just don't get set very much in the middle.
And I think that's more a function of the inexperience on the part of the setter than anything else.
Chance for a point here. Left side. But Tuktina is blocked. Quick set. Nice play by Nikulina. But Tuktina. She can't get out of the closet. They'll set her again. And she's dug. Left side, shoots it. And a pretty nice play in the backcourt by Russia. And down the line, finally, the kill on the left.
Good defensive sequence by both teams. You see, woman up for Korea standing right at the 3-meter line. Don't understand that. You don't see many soft shots out of the Russians. They ought to play all three defenders in the backcourt.
Chang is blocked. Whip it over to Chang again, and she puts it away.
Chang very effective on the left side. Really like her game. Plays good defense.
And Do-hee Lee doing a good job getting her the ball quickly and trying to outpace the Russian blockers.
Well, not going to set high left side or right side against the Russians.
Big hit down the line. They're saying it touched the antenna, but no. Natalia Morozova getting a lot of sets in this match so far.
Well, we talked about fatigue on the part of the outside hitters, and I think you're seeing that as the middle blockers for the Russians starting to get a lot more sets in this match.
The woman who looks really gassed is Batuktina, number 4. She has hit a lot of balls against Brazil in a long 5-game match. She just looks tired.
Well, I would say she probably averages about 15 sets a game. So if we're talking 5 games, anywhere from 75 to 100 sets, depending on the length of rallies and the level of play.
Korea leading this match 1-0. Russia has tied this game up 4-4. Back set. And a nice up by Russia. And a little tape hit. Now Korea has gone to sleep for a moment. That's kind of the play they usually gobble up.
Yeah, this is a bad play by the Koreans. The ball set way off the net where the Korean defenders coming in as Russia leads by 1.
Chinguina, 15-year-old, number 5. She goes back out with Russia. And, of course, the Koreans who lead this match 1-0. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, the bronze medal match. And so far, Korea giving Russia all it wants. Back set. Ogienko sets Batuktina, and she whacks it out of bounds. She looks awful.
Yeah, she just gassed, and all of her teammates know it. They're trying to help her out as best they can. But the Russians are going to have to go elsewhere for their offense, and that comes all the more important when they dig a ball and try to score. Go right back to her. That makes a lot of sense, and she's blocked.
Again, they'll set her again, and she's dug up. Fabulous dig by Korea. Chang. And Chang wangs it out of bounds. So Korea needs a little better set, a little closer to the net to let Chang operate.
But they don't have any place else to go, much like the Russians. And Batuktina in the backcourt right now, maybe we'll get a break. However, they set her a lot from behind the 3-meter line. There's the quicker set.
And a pretty good dig by Russia. Here comes Batuktina. Not yet. Hong is rejected. There's part of the Russian bear block.
Ogienko very active with her hands, watching the opposing hitter from Korea.
And Russia up by 2. Nice up. Russians in a red defense. Here comes Batuktina. And she pounds it right into the bottom of the net.
Gracheva, I think, is either showing a lot of stubbornness or a lot of inexperience right now. Batuktina has carried the Russian offense most of this tournament, but she's out of gas. Got to start setting someplace else.
Korea with the serve. Korea leading 1-0. Another high tape shot by Morozova, and Hong puts it away. Ji-yeon Hong, a good-looking youngster. There she is, number 11, the tallest Korean player.
Same step out. Chinguina, at only 15 years of age, hasn't seen too many combination plays like that yet in her young career, and unable to move in front defensively as the blocker.
And down the line, off the block. Nice shot. Chinguina is in for Menchova, which I think is a little surprising. I think they should take Batuktina out and put both those women in.
That would be the change that I would assume that Nikolai Karpel would make, but nothing surprises me from Karpel.
Russia up by 2. There's Chinguina, a fabulous youngster. And it's off the hands, out of bounds. Where Russia really gets its hands over the net. As Hong will serve. And it's It's out of bounds. 5 world championships for Russia. And Nikolai Karpol trying to get one here. Inessa Emelianova comes in for Russia. And Yoon Kyung-oh. Oh, will play in the backcourt. Here's Chinguina, born in 1979. Seems like only yesterday.
Would be a high school junior playing in the World Championships.
Ball spiked out of bounds. Point Russia. How can Russia start their players so young?
It's just a question of numbers, really, and the position that volleyball has within Russia in terms of popularity. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of men and women that play the sport at a really high level. And she's a prodigy.
There is the Russian Iron Curtain as the Russians get another point.
And the United States has a player in Kristen Fokel that many people think could have been on the U.S. national team as a high school senior. Now she's a college freshman, and we'll probably see her in Atlanta.
Korea gets the side out. Now Sun Hee Chung will serve. 3 times Korea has finished 3rd in the World Championships. Once in Japan in 1967. Once in Bulgaria in 1970. And then in 1974 in Mexico City. So Korea had a great run in the late 60s, early 70s. Always been one of the top teams in women's volleyball.
And their team probably looked exactly the same in that period. Same offensive patterns, same stature in terms of the players on the court with respect to height. Not much has changed since then.
Substitutions, the blocking specialist Chang comes in the front line, and the serving specialist Kang comes in the back line. So Kang and Chang are in. Game 2, Korea leading the match 1-0. Kracheva with the jam.
Nice tap down onto the pass, clearly going over the tape. Would have been nearly impossible to set. Korean blockers have to adjust to that and get on it.
Emelianova goes out. And now Morozova will serve. So she was in to block a ball. That's trouble, big trouble, as the ball jammed down by Batukina. So Russia's starting to get some momentum, Paul, and a timeout is called.
Russia needs to serve the ball tougher, but they've made a nice comeback here in Game 2 to take the lead by 5.
Sunderland, Russia leading Korea in Game 2 after losing Game 1 by a couple. This is the bronze medal match. The setter for Russia, Tatiana Kracheva, a good-looking youngster. She'll be running this team for a long time. Left side, Korea having trouble with the Russian block. Russian block has been big, and that time it's off the hands, out of bounds. Good shot by Korea.
Chinguina getting used a little bit on the outside. Korean blocker pushing the ball into her hands and out of bounds. She will have to learn quickly to correct that if she wants to get more playing time.
Kim is back in. And Korea will serve. Do-hee Lee. Ogienko. Chance for a point. Chinguina. She really looks like a project, Paul. She's not as developed as Artemanova was a couple of years ago.
No, we saw Artemanova in Barcelona, and she was already a big-time international player at the age of, what was she then, 16, 17.
Ogienko is dug. Chance for a point. They'll go to Chung. And she chips it down for a point. Nice play.
A lot of very unattractive plays here so far. Good decision by Nikolina to stay down. Another ball that has got to come up. Easy looking play, but the Russians still up. Getting a little lackadaisical maybe.
Korea within 4. Chinguina is dug. She's been ineffective. Korea great at coverage. Hong, yes. Ji-yeon Hong, and the Korean fans start to whoop it up.
Now, where are the rest of the Russian blockers? Just kind of a loopy 2 in the middle, and Ogienko screaming at her teammates after the play to get in there and help her out.
Number 9, Elizaveta Techichenko comes in. It's 11-8 Russia. Kracheva scrambling. blocked. Was it in? Yes. Korea gets another point.
Tichenko comes in the match, and we've seen her hit primarily quick sets and gets immediate action on the left side with not great results.
Timeout called by Russia as Korea putting on the pressure. This is game 2. Korea won the first 16-14. Russia still up by 2 right here. Paul Sunderland at the FIVB World Championships. Korea, Russia for the bronze. Korea game 1, Russia leading by 2 here in game 2. And Russia has played worse than expected, Korea better than expected. And that ball put away. Number 9, Tichenko, hitting the backslide.
Clearly the Russians not playing up to their potential, and with a lot of fatigue, particularly on the outside hitters. Batuktina in particular, just out of gas.
And it's really a series over the years that has been dominated by Russia. You have to feel that coming in, Russia just did not take Korea seriously.
Well, especially after what they saw Cuba did to Korea. I mean, that's
what did they do?
They dismantled, destroyed, detonated upon, and then left the building.
Paralleled them as that ball is hit off the hands, out of bounds. Natalia Morozova. And Natalia Chinguina getting a little experience here. Good move by Karpol. Although she's not playing all that well yet. Into the middle, rejection time. Tichenko and Morozova.
Up over early, back with her hands, and then finally getting some help from an outside blocker. Not much help, but enough to put a little intimidation on the part of the Korean hitter.
Russia by 3, and down the line, Chung.
Got to take the line if you're the Russian blockers on that very quick set. It's dying towards the net. Take away the line, force the small outside hitter for Korea to hit it towards the defense cross court.
Party time in the Korean rooting section. Could be a point coming up for Korea. Fast set, little dink. Gracheva was there. Chinguina dug up. Doesn't Korea play great defense? This is Chang, and she hits it out of bounds.
Big swing for Korea by the board. Tried to get the touch down the line, just missed it.
Coming out is Tichenko, and the more versatile number 3, Marina Nikulina with the serve. Substitution is recorded. Nikulina. And a put away. Good shot. Number 9, Nam Soon Kim. 8.5 million Koreans are named Kim, including number 8, out of a population of 43 million. Back set. And the put away. Nice set by Do-hee Lee.
Working her magic. We talked about the importance of Do-hee Lee. She would be ineffective, of course, the ball really taken out of her hands if her Korean teammates could not pass the ball well enough. They've done a very good job running the offense.
Korea within 2. Batuktina, and she gets it. When Batuktina was a youngster, she liked figure skating and basketball, and she started to grow, and she thought that her height would assist her in volleyball, so she switched sports. You'd see her as a figure skater, Paula. Shank pass, ace. Batuktina with the angle, or the axle. 13-10 Russia. Russians trying to win a game. And Chang saves a point, gets the side out.
Russians frustrated, and well they should be. Have come out flat, have not played sharp. Disappointed at being in this situation, not playing for the gold, but they lost to the host country Brazil in 5 tough games. And Korea right now has taken over the emotions of the match, and I think the crowd pretty happy with the way the Koreans are playing right now.
The heavily Brazilian crowd favoring Korea. The band and the samba keeps going. As Batuktina, and Korea can't get there. The mouth of the Howling Bear. Nikolai Karpol. They call him the Howling Bear or Nikolai the Terrible, whichever one you like the best. Which one do you like?
I like Nikolai the Terrible. I like that one the best. I think he does, too. He cherishes his role in the world of volleyball.
Out of the back line, Russia, but Tuktina, nobody touched it, but they play on. And finally, the put away. The Brazilian referee said that one of the Korean blockers touched it.
You got to keep playing if you don't hear the whistle. And the referee pointed down at the Korean block. He's wrong, however, which doesn't make any difference in this particular play.
Not surprising.
No, there was no touch whatsoever, not even close. But you got to play on.
But Tuktina with the serve. Russians, yes. So that will do it on game point. Nikolai Karpol and the Russians win game 2 to even the match at 1 game apiece. Russia and Korea for the bronze medal at the F5EB World Championships. A great match going. Korea won game 1 barely. Russia came back to win game 2. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland on scene here for you as the Russians in red came in as a huge favorite, but the Koreans have been playing superbly as their center Do-hee Lee puts the ball in play. But Tuktina may have found her second win. She was pretty good at the end of game 2.
And that's a very good sign, of course, for the Russians. But we talked about the nature of the matchup. Korea got destroyed by Cuba, as is everyone else in this tournament so far. The United States, the only team to play the Cubans tough with 1 deuce game in the first set. Koreans with a muff play here. But, you know, the Russians set the ball to the outside, so Korea can set their defense. Their block is not particularly precise on this play, but the Koreans will match up much better against the Russians than against the Cubans, and that's shown.
Nikulina got the dig. And once again, nice dig. Ogienko, number 1, speared it up. Korea on the attack. Russian set, Tuktina. Russian set, Tuktina, and she's rejected. Number 9, Nam Soon Kim. Boy, she's hitting low.
Very low, because the Korean blockers are jumping and reaching as high as they possibly can, but that block is a foot below what the Russians usually block at, or the Cubans or the Americans or Brazilians. It's a small, low-altitude block.
Comes the back set. And on the right side, number 2 again, Natalia Morozova. So Morozova will serve. Born January 28, 1973. And Korea, nice combination play. Serving is Park. We're tied 1 game apiece. Ogienko. And the put away. Number 4, Yoon-hee Chang.
Boy, that is a quick set to the outside in combination. The Korean blockers doing a very good job right now. Soft block against Ogienko and then getting back in transition.
Just the start of game 3. We're tied 1 game apiece. Another dig, and Ogienko puts it away.
Good time for Chinguina to step up. Would not be on this team if she couldn't play, and now has to come through and maybe bail a lot of her older teammates out of some trouble on the left side if she's ready and able.
Ratcheva to the left, Chinguina off the top, and Hong rules it down the line. Back to Chinguina, and she hits it off the block, out of bounds. 6'2", 154 pounds, 15 years old. Ogienko serving.
And serving very easily.
Very easily.
Predictable result.
So an easy side out for Korea. Korea's best Olympic finish of bronze in 1976 in Montreal. And the serve flies long. Of course, Russia's Olympic history is well documented. 7 Olympics, 4 golds, and 3 silvers. I'm not sure a lot of the Brazilian fans even know who's playing. They're just having fun.
All they know is they have a ticket to a sporting event in their hands, and so their activity is required.
Left side, punching it off the block is Chung. Here comes Batuktina. It's tight, and she does well with a tight set. Of course, the Brazilian fans, you can figure it, warming up for the gold medal match. What a match that will be against Cuba. Brazil-Cuba. Into the middle, Morozova got the block. Chinguina with the serve. 4-1 as Russia, it seems like, starting to establish some control of the match.
Well, a little bit, and also, you know, Korea's got to put out so much extra effort just to get the ball past the block of the Russians. And also the Russian blockers are very experienced in spite of the fact that, save for Ogienko, this is a pretty young Russian team. They're very good blockers and starting to adjust now to the Koreans, but still just one step slow. There's got to be at least 2 blockers up. Look at this. 1 blocker up on a very slow set, relatively speaking, out of the middle. Middle blocker for the Russians should ask for some help.
You do that against Cuba, and they'll pound you all over the place. Out of the back line, Chinguina's best hit so far. So now Natalia Morozova will serve. Her last name comes from the Russian word moroz, meaning it's cold outside.
Must be a very common name.
Absolutely.
Pretty uncommon block that time by Ogienko out of the middle.
Timeout called, Russia by 3.
I'm always looking to improve.
Trying to get their act back together in the bronze medal match. Korea won game 1, but Russia assuming control, a win in game 2. Russians now lead 10-4 in game 3. Russian block has been big. Hitters have been good. As Korea tries to hang in, Chang, and she's into the net for contacts. Point, Russia. Physicality starting to wear on tiny Korea.
Yeah, Chang is hitting the quick 4-set to the outside, swinging into the middle now in the combination play. Good shot away from the block. Wing diggers have to come up and cover if you're the blocker in front of you moves inside to help on the combination play.
Yoon-hee Chang to serve. High left. Now it goes into the backcourt. Batuktina, and Korea lets it drop. Nice dig by Chang, but nobody there.
Perfect dig. That's just a brain cramp by the Koreans. I don't know where the setter is, and if she can't get to the ball, Do-hee Lee's got to scream at somebody to set that.
Chinguina with the serve. Russians have such fabulous blocking technique. Morozova moving along the net. Watch her.
But with Batuktina there early, and if you give the bigger Russian women time to gather themselves, get to the outside, very intimidating block.
Russia chance for another point. Batuktina with the drive.
Gutty performance by Batuktina. Got to be very tired. Tired legs, back, shoulder, has hit ball after ball after ball for the Russians, and now coming through carrying them a little bit when it comes to point scoring.
Quick set. Utilized, getting in there, Jin Yong Lee from Incheon, getting a chance to play, one of the younger, taller Koreans. Substitutions coming in. Do-hee Lee back in. Soo-Jung Park, number 10, comes back in the front line.
And I'll say it again, I mentioned it before. You see how long this whole substitution situation takes? What'd that take, 35, 40 seconds? Just get rid of it. Get them in the game. Let's go, blow the whistle. Just a lot of ceremony slowing the match down.
On the right side, Park. Park's one over in the corner.
Surprising that Park would be able to park one-on-one Chinguina. Don't open up. Go after the ball. Gracheva's next to you, the setter. She wants to release, set the ball, and keep the offense going.
Little dink, Ogienko with the tip shot.
Same situation. 2 blockers moving in. The left side blocker comes in to help middle. The wing digger's got to come up and cover tip.
Serving is Batuktina. Little back step out. That play has been goal. This time, So-Yeon Chung with the kill. She's a 6-footer, 20 years old. So perhaps the Korean coach, Chul Yong Kim, trying to get some of his other players into the match to get a little experience.
Well, the Koreans have to get bigger, and they've also got to get a lot stronger. We've seen the Japanese men, for example, try to get a lot taller, but height doesn't do it as well. You got to still be explosive and very quick, which means you've got to become more powerful.
Well, how do you get taller?
You get taller by recruiting players like that. That's not what I'm saying. It's not just good enough to be tall. You got to be strong with it. You've got to be quick with it. You've got to be explosive. Otherwise, just being tall is not enough.
Korea with the serve. Chinguina is dug. They'll set left side. It's too low. Ogienko, what a dig. Number 10, Park got it. And the put away. Nice shot. Yoon-hee Chang. She's got them all.
Boy, exactly. Chang moves the ball around. She'd be pretty good out on the beach tour. Nice little roll shot inside the block. Moves it around. A good variety of shots.
And great on defense. Chinguina dug up. Korea playing great defense. However, Valentina Ogienko was there to block it. Set Hong this time.
I don't know if Ogienko has a specific target that she's going after with Korea, but I've never seen her serve so tentatively or easily. It's my favorite play again.
Yeon Sung Jung is in, 21 years old, so the Korean coach rotating his players now as Hong serves. Back set, over the top, Korea with another dig. Korea digging Russia very well now. Batuktina. If it's off the hands, Korea goes and gets it. Park dug up. Back to Batuktina. And there's a touch going out of bounds. So give the kill to Elena Batuktina.
Still, Korea insists on playing a woman up, and I just don't get it. With their digging abilities, I'd want to have all three of my backcourt defenders right there on the perimeter. You know, balls off the top of the block and inside the block. Got to have all three women back there.
Morozova serving. Russia's in command. Nice dig. Backcourt. They'll go to Batuktina. She dinks and scores.
And even the woman up couldn't get it, so what good is she up there anyway? Supposed to be up there getting tip all over it. Do-hee Lee has got to make that play. Watch the hitter, not the blockers.
Game point for Russia here in game 3, trying to extinguish Korea. And they do. So Russia, after losing game 1, the Russians come out very strong in game 2 and make their point here in game 3.
Do it with blocking, still aren't serving very aggressively. But the Koreans have to be worn out right now, running their patterns as best they possibly can, but Ogienko, very experienced, saying no to that one on the cross-court cutback.
Russia leads Korea in the bronze medal match 2-1. Bronze medal match, it's 5-2. Russia leading Korea. Russia leads the match 2-1. Korea trying to hang on. And they get the side out.
Chung on the outside. Look at where the hands of the Russian blockers are way off the net. Got to get square, lead with your hands, penetrate the net, and then you get a stop.
Russia by 2. Batuktina, and she hits it out. We could be looking at 2 tired teams here, as Batuktina has hit a bazillion balls, and she's still going.
And neither of these teams exactly set the world on fire in pool play. They didn't waltz through, particularly the Koreans, that they struggled just to get out into the quarterfinal round, and the Russians lost to China in their pool, so they played a lot of long, pressure-filled volleyball matches.
Emelianova is in there now for Russia, number 15. Very good blocker. And the ball drops. Ogienko was dug in.
That's just a tired-looking play right there.
Yeah.
Ogienko's all over it, waiting for somebody else to make the play.
She's got to take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to go yourself.
Batuktina, and she gets it off the hands of Hong out of bounds. She's developed into a big-time offensive star for the Russians. Substitutions, Morozova coming back in, Tichenko coming back in. Menchova has played very, very little in this match. It's been Chiguina on the left, along with Batuktina.
Again, the substitution's just taking way too long, slowing everything down.
Back set. Nice dig. Chiguina got it up. And the block. Gracheva, one of the advantages to having a tall setter like Gracheva. She's 6'1¼
And look where she goes with her hands. Take the line again. Close in that big outside paw.
Russia by 2 now. Korea combination. Nikulina is there. Whip it to Batuktina, and she scores.
Good shot. Again, Korea playing woman up, so she doesn't tip right over the top of the block. Tips more cross court right into the middle, where nobody from Korea can get to it as they trail by 3.
Korea for the bronze at the FIVB World Championships. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partners Paul Sunderland. Korea winning game 1. Russia games 2 and 3. We're now in game 4. 7-4. The Russians have been in control. Just too powerful, too physical for Korea. And the Russian block really starting to make some hay. Korea either hitting the ball out or getting rejected.
Korea needs to set the ball in the middle right now, try to establish that. Remember, they were spreading the Russian block with the step out, being very effective with that play. It's gone away because of the bad passing. Russia doesn't convert here, obviously an unforced error, but that's why the Koreans are having so much trouble offensively. They got nothing going on their right side to spread the block.
Imi Kang comes back in, and Nam Soon Kim, number 9. Kim in the front line, Kang in the back line. Russians trying to wrap up the bronze here. Remember, Russia, the defending champion in World Championship Volleyball, going back to 1990 in Beijing. And Batuktina puts it away. Of course, Russia hoping to win a gold here, but without their star outside spiker, Yevgenia Artemanova, who's out with a knee injury, just not enough firepower. Russia, another block.
Gracheva doing a good job blocking on the outside.
Tichenko also there.
Yep, that was Tichenko that got that block. Gracheva just setting it on the outside. Tichenko has been a pretty good player off the bench for Russia, hitting and blocking.
Well, if you can't block, you don't get to play for Russia. So anybody who's in there, setters, hitters, middle blockers, they all have to be able to stuff the ball. Timeout. And Korea is in deep trouble, trailing 2-1 and 10-4. 10-4 in game 4. It's not over and out yet, but Russia closing in just 5 points away from the bronze. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland. As Russia trying to extinguish Korea, and doing a pretty darn good job of it. The Russian block has been a key.
Well, no doubt about that, and that's forced a lot of these hitting errors for Korea. Korean women aren't even aiming at the court. They're just hoping to get a touch off the top of the Russian block, and now they're missing everything wide and long.
Korea trying to slow down the momentum as Batuktina serves. Left side attack has not been effective. Gracheva out of the back line, and it's blocked back. Nice play by number 9, Nam Soon Kim.
Korea has blocked better than we expected, but again, that ball barely clearing the top of the tape from Batuktina.
Play action, Gracheva left side, and Chiguina, who has loosened up. She may be a factor when we get to the Olympic Games in 1996.
Look at that one, little tap down right over the top of the block.
We talk about Chinguina being 15. When do you think a woman reaches her peak in women's international volleyball?
I think mid-20s, 23 to 27, just depending on the position they play, mental makeup, etc.
Of course, you need the middle blockers to be especially young and athletic.
Because they take a pounding.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of jumps. That's why Cuba is set for now and tomorrow with the great middle blockers that they have, Torres and Carvajal.
Here comes Valentina Ogienko. She's 29 now, far past her prime, but still an excellent player off the bench. She's coming in for the kill. Russia leading big. And Ogienko can't get that one, so Korea gets the side out.
Again, the right side attack has been very effective for Korea. It's like they forgot all about it for the middle portion of Game 3 and certainly most of Game 4. That's really gotten them in trouble.
Chang into the front line. Yeah, Jeong Hong was very, very good early on, hitting that back slide right on the tape. Yes, we're ready. Do-hee Lee serving. Russians passing great. Korea blocking great. Problem is, Korea can't side out for more than a minute or two.
Not any longer. Good block here. A little bit of a lucky block. The Korean blocking technique is not good. They just don't work on it enough if they want to get back among the world's elite. And we've said the same thing about the Chinese team and the Japanese.
Is it technique or physicality?
I think it's a combination. One, you decide that you're going to become a good blocking team. In order to become a good blocking team, you got to recruit taller women. You got to train them how to block. You got to specialize the game a little bit more. You got to get in the weight room, get them stronger, emphasize blocking as opposed to overhand and underhand passing and defense.
Serving is Hong. Game 4, Russia leading 2-1. Nikulina. Now you see why she doesn't hit very much, but she is a good blocker. There is Marina Nikulina, the starting setter when the Russians won the gold in 1992. Very versatile. Trouble. Gracheva, she's done a pretty good job.
Well, I'll tell you, I like the block that she helps establish for the Russians. Brings a lot of size to it. Leads with her hands. Watch for that first with a good blocker.
12-5 Russia. Gracheva might be the best blocking setter in Russian or Soviet or unified history. Little tip shot there. Remember, Russia had Irina Parhomchuk for so long, which was a great player, great offensive, but she was not a fabulous blocker. Gracheva, much bigger, much stronger.
And will become a better setter. They'll find a couple of women, if they don't have them now, who can hit quick and incorporate much more fast attack into the Russian offense, and that'll make their siding out much more effective. They won't have to just hit left side again and again and again.
High set, Morozova dug up. Nikulina again. Little unsung play of coverage. See if the Russians cover it here.
Bad free ball pass. The Koreans spend their lifetime working on their ball control, and it's been crummy in Game 4. A
6-point Russian lead. Nice dig there. They whip it into the middle to Kang. And Batuktina is blocked.
Elena Batuktina will be very glad when this tournament is over. She's going to be seeing high left side sets in her dreams. She's going to go to do everything with a 4-step approach.
12-7 now as Korea tries to come back. And a big blast on the right side. Natalia Morozova got the kill. She's a pretty good player. Big, strong, physical.
Batuktina is hoping this match will be over before she gets back to the front row.
Looking for Ogienko, no. Set left. Chinguina with the drive. So the 15-year-old from Sverdlovsk pops it through.
I'll tell you one thing. Gracheva is a very good left side setter.
Yeah.
Very accurate. I know she gets lots of practice, but I'll tell you, that's a good base to work from right there, left side setting, and then start incorporating the rest of the offense between now and the Atlanta Olympics.
Well, it's just the opposite of the United States. The Americans have a very good quick attack. but their left side attack is not developed. I think I'd rather have it the way the Russians have it. You've got great left side hitters, develop the middle, because you can always get the ball to the left side.
Establish that fundamental part of your offense first, and then work into the quick stuff in the middle.
Off the hands, Korea gets a kill on the right. Ji Yong Hong from Seoul. Crowd warming up for the gold medal match, which will feature Brazil and Cuba. Chinguina, and she hits it out of bounds.
This is just a match of attrition a little bit. The Koreans are gassed, the Russians are gassed. But Russia does have a 5-point lead in Game 4, looking to close it out and take home the bronze.
Set left, Chinguina. Korea goes and gets it. Little dinker, Gracheva, high, Chinguina. And not much hustle on that play as Chinguina gets another kill. You think she'll be a starter in 96, Paul?
No. I think Arteminova, Gracheva, of course, at the setting position, Batuktina.
Soft dink, Do-Hee Lee getting the kill.
Little tap play right there, and nobody reacting defensively for Russia.
Well, they're certainly working Chinguina as she goes into the corner. She certainly hits the ball high.
Uses her arms extremely well to pull herself off the ground. Batuktina hoping that she only has to swing at a couple of more balls. Please let us block one. Not yet.
Russia just 2 points away from the bronze. Korea, it appears, is going to finish 4th. Batuktina, yes. So rising to the occasion, Batuktina. Now number 11, Yulia Timonova comes in. So a chance to get a little frontline action for Timonova. I haven't seen much of her. 6 feet, 3 3/4 of an inch from Saratov, Russia. Probably a good blocker, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think that's why she's in there, but maybe another reason, and I'll get to that in just 1 second.
Set it left, Batuktina. Did she get a touch? Yes, she did.
In Olympic and World Championship competition, in order to earn a medal, you have to at least be on the court. Just being at the tournament does not earn you a medal, so maybe this is her first action throughout the tournament.
Could be for the bronze right here. Korea. Now Russia, set left. Batuktina. That will do it. Russia wins the bronze.
Boy, are they glad it's over. A long tournament. Came very, very close to getting into the finals. Brazil will have that honor, having defeated the Russians in the semis. Very appropriate that it was Batuktina off the down ball, free ball opportunity, puts away bronze medal point. To the outside, and boy, for the last time, she has to swing at a ball, at least in this tournament.
So after winning the World Championship back in 1990, Russia has to settle for the bronze, but they do it impressively, beating Korea 3 games to 1.